No more volume knob. Today I'm in the car here, and I'm going to be uninstalling the aftermarket Atoto head unit because the volume knob is not working, as you saw. And so I'm going to go through the process of debugging and diagnosing what is wrong. And I'm going to try something a little different with this video, a little bit less edited, doing it on the fly and recording in real time what I'm seeing so you guys can see my debugging process and how I attack problems. So let's start the removal. So first let's get this bezel off of here. It's just a friction fit. There we go. And now I'm going to need two hands to undo this plug. So let me undo that. Okay, and now I've turned off the power as well. And so now we're going to undo my clips here. With two hands, I was actually able to knock it out the top clips, and so there it is. And you can see actually that Arduino is still lit up, which is interesting because that means it's still getting power right now, even though the unit is off. And that could be part of the problem. Alright, so I just unplugged the USB cord so that the Arduino would lose power and re-plugged it in. Now let's see, I have to plug the fascia back in and we'll see if that fixes it, because my theory is that because Arduino always has power, eventually there's some buffer overrun or anything that happens. Okay, that's plugged in and loosely just sitting there, so let's see if the volume works, and it does. So that is probably the issue, is that this USB cord, even though you turn off the power to the unit and the car is off, the USB is always getting power. So now that we know the problem, which is that the Arduino is getting the power too long, there's two fixes. I can go back into the code and see if it's something on my end, but what I'm really thinking about doing right now, which is I'll probably do in the rest of this episode, is instead of powering the Arduino with the USB cord, which was easier to wire and what I decided on, what I should actually do is put in a 12 volt to 5 volt buck module, and I think I have one somewhere in my drawer. I'll go search right now and put that, just wire that into the car power, and then that will power the Arduino. And because that'll be wired from the 12 volt accessory line, it will power off and the Arduino will lose power when we power down the car. So this issue won't happen anymore. So I believe that's what I'm going to go with. So in my parts drawer, I did indeed find the buck module I was looking for. This is actually a variable input in the input's actually on this side, the output's on this side. It's variable, so I just got to figure out how to set this. I think the input, it doesn't matter, you give it anything, but I need to figure out how to set it so the output's right at like 5 volts. So I'll try to do that and get it wired in. And the other nice thing is you can see I think I had started to think of using this because I had actually wired the power and ground here from this directly. So this will be able to just plug right into the output side of this. And then on the input side of this, I'll just need to wire two wires and to a plug in the car. And I did wire an extra plug from the car side. So that's already taken care of as well. So it's not too much work to do. So now with the module wired up here to my power supply, which I have set at 13 volts, which is about what a car runs at. So if we pan down here to the module, you can see it is also outputting 13 volts. So that's the actual input. I found out if you push this mode button, that's now the output, and that's at 11.1 volts, which is pretty good, but obviously we need to go down to 5 for our Arduino. So twisting this, seems like the right is going up. Actually, we want to go down. So if we twist this a bunch, we should get down to 5. And there we are. We've twisted a bunch, and now the output is down set to 5 volts. So this should have no problem powering that Arduino. The new module is now zip tied into place, and I have the output of the buck converter going now, wiring all the way over to the input here of the Arduino. And on the other side, I have my connector here ready to fit the connector that already exists in the car. So the last thing to do, of course, is use our flush cuts. Get rid of the excess here on the zip ties. Now we're ready to go out to the car. With a simple readjustment of the connector right behind the fascia, I now have my volume knob completely working. And what's great, of course, is now when I turn off the power to the car and the head unit goes off, the power to the Arduino goes off, and everything should reset itself and work perfectly again. I hope you found that debugging and fixing the volume knob helpful, and gives you confidence to debug and fix your own problems when you're doing your own DIY stuff. And if you like this type of do-it-yourself content with my Lamborghini, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Godspeed.